Assalamu alaikum dear friend, this is Hajaz Sennajo and today we are going to learn a very important, specific and a major confusing topic, that's verb, and we are going to learn the verb. And today I am going to make the concepts clear, that how we use the verb and how can we use the verb in a sentence and what is the importance of the verb in using a sentence. Suppose if you know that the sentence consists of the major three parts, they are subject, verb and object. Sometimes if we remove the object from the sentence, if we do not use the object in a sentence, it can still give a complete meaning. But if we remove the verb from sentence, it cannot give a complete meaning. Suppose if I can tell you that I write a letter, here it is very clear and you can see that here write is a verb here in the sentence and a letter is an object. So if we remove the verb write from this sentence here, you cannot get the meaning. I write a letter, it is giving a meaning. But if you say that I a letter, it means if you remove this right from the sentence I a letter, it is not going to give the complete meaning. So the verb plays very important role in making the sentences. Either we are speaking or the writing, it has a very vital and essential role in English. So today we are going to learn what is the definition of the verb, why we use the verbs, what are the kinds of the verb, and what are the usages. So let's start with the lesson. First of all, you might have learned that there is a very common definition of the verb that is taught everywhere, that is learned everywhere, and mostly you will ask the student, they will answer this definition. So what is verb? Here it is written that verb is an action word. Just start and just focus on the definition. What does the definition say? Verb is an action word. Here you can see that it is written that verb can only show the action. Verb is an action word. It means always going to show the action. If we consider the two sentences here, I am going to write. First is he writes a letter, and if I am going to write the second sentence, you can see I am a student. Here you can consider that I already mentioned you that we cannot form a sentence without a verb. So verb is very important sentence. Here you can see that he writes a letter, here writes a verb, and after that I am a teacher, here am is a to be verb. So in this sentence, if you consider this definition is going to be correct, because here the verb is an action verb, write is an action verb. What is action? Action is type of the word or the movement in which we involve the physical movement. Suppose if I am moving my hands, it's an action. If we write a letter, it means we move our hands. That's why we said it's an action. But if you say I am a student, here there is no time for the action. So if you consider this definition only, so you are going to get the wrong concept here. So you cannot say the verb is an action word. But sometimes it's written, sometimes it can be possible verb can show action, but sometimes it doesn't. So in every situation verb is different. So it depends on the situation what are you going to use. But accurate definition, I think in my opinion, which can give the exact meaning, that is verb shows an action, state, position and existence. Here I have written the four things: action, state, position and existence. Here it's very clear that sometimes verb can show action, sometimes it can show state, sometimes it can show position, and sometimes it can show an existence. Suppose here there is another mistake, that sometimes students write the spell of existence EXISTANC. This is wrong. You can confirm it from the Google or your dictionary. This is not, you cannot place a after T. You can you always place a E after the existence. Okay, that's a good definition. So action, I told you, and state. How can a verb show state? State, you know, that is a kind of the condition in which we identify the person. Suppose if someone has worn new clothes and a tight clothes, you can say this guy is very rich. Okay, you can identify that this man is rich. If someone is in rags, it means he has worn a torn clothes, you can say this is a beggar. This is a very poor person. Okay, that depends on the condition. Possession, what's possession? You know that possession is the ownership of the subject. If I have something, I have a pen. Here you can say that this pen is mine, and it is, I have my every right on this pen. If I throw this pen, you will not say anything to me. If anyone is going to ask you that why did he throw the pen, you can tell him that that was his. Okay, he can do whatever he wants with his pen. So that is the possession. Possession is the ownership. You can say that I have a car, it means it's a possession. So here have is a verb which is going to show the position or the ownership of the subject I. And after that existence, the presence of someone, at some place. Suppose if I say that I am in class, here I am going to use am, and after that I am in class. Here am is showing my existence, not condition. If I say I am a student, here I am is showing my state, I am a student. If I say I am in class, here I am is going to show my presence because I am present in class. I am present in class at that time. So I am using I am in class. That's the position. So verb can show these things. That's the definition of the verb. And let's learn the further kinds of the verb. What are the major kinds of the verb? Why we use the verb? How can we use them? So let's learn. You can see that I have written 4 kinds of the verbs. Some of them may be known to you, some of them may not be known to you. So first of all, I have written transitive verb and transitive verb. These are the very common, and just sometimes students get confused and using them. So while they use them, they get confused at how to use the transitive and intransitive, how a verb can be transitive and how a verb cannot be transitive. And after that, I have written a new kind of the verb, that is ambitransitive and ergative are the liable verbs. So I hope that these two might be new for you. So let's learn about each of them, and let's learn them how I used. So transitive verbs are those verbs which require object to complete their meaning. What? Which require those verbs which require object to complete their meaning. Suppose I can tell you, I read. It is not giving the meaning. I read what I read. So if I say I read a book, so I read a book. If you remove this object from this verb read, it is not going to the meaning because it requires an object. I read. You should read something. You read something. That's why you have to tell that what I'm reading. I read a book. Here, a book is giving the complete meaning. I can tell you another example. We eat. What we eat? Suppose we eat meal, we eat fruits, whatever you can tell, every object you can use here. So here eat is requiring the object. So it is not going to give the meaning without an object, that's meal. And read is not giving the meaning without object, book. So those verbs which require object to complete their meaning, they are known as the transitive verbs. And after that, when you come to the intransitive verbs, you can know the end means negative, complete, incomplete, just the opposite. They require object and they do not require the object in transitive. Those verbs which do not require object, do not require object. Here, if I can tell you, the sun rises. Here you can see the sentence is ending on the verb and is giving the complete meaning, the sun rises. And another example, the river flows. You can make lots of the examples by using these verbs. Just you have to make the concept in your mind that transitive require always object. They cannot give the meaning without an object. And intransitive do not require any object. They can give the complete meaning without using the object in the sentence. After that, here, this is a point. Ambitransitive and ergative are liable verbs. Ambitransitive means those verbs which can both be used in the transitive and intransitive. Suppose they can both be used. Here, I read a book. Here, read the transitive because it is requiring the object. And after that, I use it. I have been reading since my childhood. Here you can see that I have been reading since my childhood. Here there is no any object in the sentence. Just it is complete. I have been reading since my childhood. So I have not used any object. Just this is the extension. Okay. I have been reading since my childhood. Here reading is not going to take any object. So those verbs which can be both use the transitive and intransitive, which can both can be replaced with the object, and if we do not use the object after them, they can still give the meaning. And these can be read, understand, etc. And after that, ergative are liable verbs. This is a very confusing topic. Here you have to know something. Ergative verbs and object are those verbs whose object can be subject of a transitive verb. Whose object can be the subject of the transitive verb. You can say that here. You can see that he flies a kite. Okay. He flies kites, or he flies birds. He flies birds. You can say, you can notice this object birds. If I'm going to use it in the starting of the sentence, birds fly. Here you can see that here this is going to be the complete meaning without using any object after that, birds fly. So those verbs which can be used as the transitive and intransitive verb, you can say the ambitransitive verb, and after that those verbs whose object can be subject of the intransitive verb, you can say that is going to be ergative verb. An example: close. I closed the door. Okay, I close the door. Here the door is an object. If you replace it, the door was closed. Here it's very clear that the closed is not requiring any object. So these were the kinds of the end of my lecture, and I decided to make another part of video on other parts of on other kinds of the verbs. So if I'm going to make all the kinds of verbs in just single videos, it is going to be too long. So I will inshallah I will make another video on the other kinds of the verb, and I hope you will have enjoyed my lecture and might have learned something new from me. And don't forget to leave your precious comments. Okay, after that and if you have any question or doubt, you can ask me, and don't forget to give your reviews, like and share my video. Inshallah we will meet you soon. Thank you.